Hey everybody, good morning to you on the East Coast time here. Mondays with Mark. Hey, I'm heading out to an appointment. I'm actually back to work again. It's almost September 1st, and that's when I like to get back to work. I usually take June, July, and August off and have a great time. And just recently, I got to tell you, I'm here at a meeting here. I'm going to meet somebody here at noon, and this is how I'm dressed for a mentorship meeting. I'm meeting somebody, and we're going to work together and talk about stuff. But this has been on my mind lately, accountability. So I made the title of the talk today, hey, who wants to be accountable? It just seems like more and more and more and more and more in all of my businesses. I have 3 different companies, all of my businesses and all of my leadership and mentorship. And there's oftentimes the question about accountability. Well, what do I need to do that for? And what does it matter as long as I'm not hurting anybody? And, I'll get to that later, that kind of thing. And I see an attitude permeating our society today that's all about self. And I see an attitude permeating society today that is unchecked accountability. In other words, people used to do what they said, and they used to say what they mean. And I just wonder, what happened? Is it still available today? Is it just a small group of people that actually does this anymore? Or is it still the vast majority of people that remain accountable? And who wants to be accountable? Well, I can give you a few points of view, at least from the perspective of leadership. So as we talk about E5 Leader and E5 Leadership Academy and accountability, I think the first thing that you need to ask yourself is, do I need accountability? And what will it do for me? Well, accountability keeps us on track, it keeps us in truth, and it keeps us responsible with respect. Accountability is a sought-after character, and it's a sought-after result, if you will, by every employer. I don't know any employer that doesn't want you to be accountable to the job, accountable to the office, accountable to the workplace, the shop, the construction site, whatever it is that you're doing. I know that accountability is a big issue. And I can tell you from my own personal experience as I'm living life large in a lot of ways, former welder, never been to college, and come up through the ranks in a corporate life and started businesses of my own, sold businesses. And as I've made this journey and I've made this pass through life, I'll tell you, the biggest theme in life that people have appreciated the most from me is accountability. But I find that it's hard to be accountable to something or someone else when you can't even be accountable to yourself. And that accountability to self means, at least in my world, in all 5 disciplines, all 5 pillars, you got to be accountable spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, and financially. And if you're not in balance in one of these pillars, check your accountability. See if you've been accountable to yourself and the commitments that you've made to self as it relates to finances, as it relates to physical, as it relates to mental well-being, just anything along that line. Start yourself an accountability list and check it twice and see what your accountability is. Are you saying things that you didn't really mean? Sometimes we do that because we want to be welcomed or we want people to appreciate us or we just want to please them. So are you saying things you don't mean? Are you doing things that you said you would do but you didn't do? Was that what's happening? So oftentimes, at least for me when I was younger, I would tell people yes all the time. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take care of that. I'll get that. No problem. And then I wouldn't do it. I'd either forget or I got busy or something came up. It wasn't that I didn't want to be accountable. I just didn't know how. No one ever really taught me the value of accountability, and no one really taught me how do you remain accountable. And the best way I can teach you today on how to remain accountable, first to yourself, and then to others, and then to a person, place, or thing, make a checklist, and make it a mental checklist. When you're responding back and forth and somebody asks of you to do something, and you say, oh yeah, I'll get to that because you want favor with that person or you want to get along with them or just as an example, check in your mind, am I really going to do that? Do I really intend to do that? Can I really accept that deadline in good faith? Do I really have the time to do that? Do I have the best of intentions to do it? And be certain that when you say yes, let your yes mean yes. And when you say no, let your no mean no. So that's one way to do it. It's just a mental checklist of accountability. The other way to be accountable is to have somebody else hold you accountable. If you tell somebody, look, I'm working on my accountability, I want to get better at it, somebody you trust, somebody who cares about you and you care about them, and say, help me out. If you ever hear me or see me not being accountable, point it out to me. Because I really believe that what I'm seeing today in our world isn't intentionally unaccountability. It's just an accepted social way of life today, that people say what they don't mean. We've lost our truth in lending, so to speak, in a lot of areas, especially in corporate America. But I see it trickling down now into individuals. And I hope this lesson helps you. I hope it doesn't fall on, patronizing ears or deaf ears, that you think I'm patronizing. I'm not. I'm saying that accountability is probably the single most quality that people look for when they're hiring. They want people that are accountable at any job level. If you say you're going to come to work, they expect you to come to work. If you say you're going to do something, they expect you to do it. And if you do all those things and you're accountable at work, and then you get off in your private life and you're not accountable, well, then that's a double-mindedness. That's a duplicitous nature, and that'll be another video blog. But hey, I just want to touch base with you here. I'm so glad to be out here today and back to work. I can't wait to get in there and meet Jennifer. I haven't seen her for a while all summer long, so I'm looking forward to catching up with her and finding out about her businesses, about her life, about her family, and everything else that's going on. And it's going to be an exciting day, and I wish you an exciting day too. So hey, God bless you. Have a great day. And I like to say every time I talk to somebody, go and grow as an E5 leader and make yourself an accountability checklist. Run that through your mind. Double check it. Do I really mean to say what I'm going to say? Am I really going to do what I just said I would do? And can I really accept that responsibility that someone just put on me and still remain accountable? You'll find out you sleep better if you're accountable. You'll find out that there's no stories to unravel later on when you're accountable. And let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. God bless you. Talk to you soon.